And one data point obviously can be
Yeah.
misleading
Yeah.
one way or the other. Again, it's looking at the trends. That's why we report all of this stuff, right? We don't want to just report one thing. Oh, month over month, it's up 16%. Well, that sounds great, but maybe there was a weird thing had that happened that one month. But for me, it's about like, let's look at this over time. And that's why we include these graphs here, because I think it provides so much more context to just, oh, up 36% month over month or year over year. Just it provides you, again, a lot more context, a lot more meaning.
That's right.
All right, I'll take it. This is our last one. Lebanon. We've been reporting on this. It's like we finally see 15 houses.
I know. Up 36% month over month.
Yeah,
it's growing. Yeah.
is.
And I have conversations on Lebanon more and more as each month passes, of course. So there's obviously a lot more activity.
Yeah, the flood is coming. The wave is coming. That's why we're talking about it now, when it seems a little bit silly to talk about a market with 6, 7, 8, 10 homes, even 15 homes on the market. Is, it's very small. But what we're trying to do is raise awareness so that investors can get plugged in early and take advantage of this opportunity. As you'll see in the sales data on the next slide, I think there's already been a run up, and I think there's definitely more room to run with sales prices, rental prices, all that kind of stuff. So take a look at the numbers. 15 homes on the market seems kind of small, but it's actually a pretty big increase. Average rental price $2,213. That's up 16% month over month.
Let me just stop you right there for a second.
Yeah.
So some people might look at this as month over month, it's up 16, but year over year, what do you mean it's growing? It's down 2%. Well, that's because you have more homes on the market, right? So you're going to have prices now with more homes. You'll have some that are $3,000 a month, but you'll also have more homes on the market that are $2,000 a month. So it may appear that the overall market is down year over year, but that's not really the case. You have more inventory. Go ahead.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Really,
I mean, I was talking gold, but no, I'm sure you're just
well, it's like you don't want to take 1 month and extrapolate too much information. What I think maybe would be a more meaningful conversation would be like, hey, let's take a look at that bottom left graph there, and let's look at the price over time. Let's take a look at the dark blue one, because that's 2025. We started the year at what, 15 something a month, and then we're going to end the year at 2250. I mean, that's a meaningful increase. I mean, that is a $700 increase from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So that's a trend line. I mean, you can see that's clearly going in the right direction. So to your point, I think we're going to see bigger houses. We're going to see nicer houses. This is a bit of a changing of like what's on the market, what's renting. It's not these smaller ranch houses anymore. It's going to be, the bigger, the 2 stories, that kind of stuff. So I think that's what you're seeing in that number there, because that's a meaningful increase from 1,500 to 2,200.
Yes. Yeah, which I mean, and maybe this particular market will continue to grow up. And in these expanding markets, I think that year over year can be a little bit misleading, right? Because you're tracking that number from 8 down, and then hopefully one day we'll see 30 homes on the market. Right. Well, so that year over year figure is going to be a little less meaningful.
Yeah, and one data point obviously can be misleading.
Yeah.
One way or the other. Again, it's looking at the trends. That's why we report all of this stuff, right? We don't want to just report one thing. Oh, month over month, it's up 16%. Well, that sounds great, but maybe there was a weird thing had that happened that one month. But for me, it's about like, let's look at this over time. And that's why we include these graphs here, because I think it provides so much more context to just, up 36% month over month or year over year. Just it provides you, again, a lot more context, a lot more meaning.
That's right.
Days on the market, 25, super healthy. One of the best, if not the best. I think Whitestown was also at 25. So that's really good to see, especially in October. That is great to see. Price per square foot, $1.29. There are still a decent amount of apartments up there, 36. So really double plus apartments versus single family homes. But a substantial price difference between apartments and single family homes. So single family homes, again, $2,213. Apartments, $1,324. So $1,000 almost a month difference between single family homes and apartments. So definitely something to keep an eye on. But the price per square foot, interestingly, is almost the same for apartments and single family homes. I feel like we've kind of already talked about the price graphs down there, but we've broken them down by all 3 types of homes: single family homes, apartments and condos, and townhomes. Those are over time, 2024 and 2025. Let's take a look at the sales data for Lebanon. All right, October 25 sales data for Lebanon. Average days on the market, really good here, 34 days on the market. Average price per square foot is $173 per square foot. Average sales price, $282,061. That's actually up year over year, 12%, but then down 8% month over month. We'll kind of put some context on that, the sales price over time. Number of homes sold, there's 23 that sold. Again, that's under $500,000, looking at that from an investor point of view. And then taking a look at this average sales price over time. February had a weird dip there. But I would say, honestly, it's relatively flat from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. Kind of started at 280, bumped up to maybe 320, and then trending a little bit down as we wrap up the year. So I would say up ever so slightly from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, but I believe there's a lot more room to grow on that. And then taking a look at the number of homes sold, you can still see that this is still a really pretty affordable market with a decent amount of homes, even under 200, and 100 plus, 100, just over 100, under 250, and then quite a few if we bump that up to 300. So this is still a very, very affordable market, still a very early market, and lots of room to grow, I think, on sales price and rent price here.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to any of our economic updates that we provide on the front end of the podcast, you'll know that there's a lot of growth opportunity happening in Lebanon. So that opportunity also will trend to the real estate market. And I think we're already beginning to see some of that kind of start to take shape.
I think that's it. I think that wraps us up.
That does. That wraps up at least our market reports. You may have heard on the front end of the podcast, we've added a new segment here, jumping into the bonehead. So where we are going to discuss real life situations that have happened with clients working with other property management companies, or maybe even ours. Spoiler alert, it's never ours. But where the property manager might not have made the right decision, or maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But we're going to discuss what they might have been able to do differently in order to achieve a slightly better results for the owner. So that's the bonehead. We also have this month's question of the week that we'll go over in just a moment.
That'll do it.
Okay, that'll do it. All right, let's move on.